Greetings, seedlings. I'm Brandon, co-creator of Guardians of the Seeds and Dungeon Master for the Gods campaign. Welcome to our 6th episode. In this modified D&D journey, our adventurers will navigate the world of Arfinium, and their choices will dictate the written histories of the planet for the upcoming modern-day book series. To start this epic tale, it was decided that we would dive into each of the characters' stories by providing the cast with introduction episodes. That means next Saturday will be our first episode with the full cast on March 2nd. This week, we're going to be introducing Justin. Justin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Justin. Just a random person that Brandon picked up from the side of the road and brought me into his home. I've been living here for months without food or water or a place to say, please help me. I have been playing Dungeons & Dragons for a long time, almost the majority of my life now, and it is just a game that I always come back to at the end of the day because of the ability to be as creative as you want with it. And I'm excited to explore the Guardians of the Seeds world. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good introduction.
Yeah.
I appreciate being a kidnapper. So, as many of our early followers already know, Guardians of the Seeds is a lot more than a D&D campaign. In fact, considering its 18-year history, GOTS campaign is exceptionally young in the lifespan of this project. So, it probably doesn't come as a surprise to know that the campaign is nearly 100% homebrew. My co-creator Mariah and I have spent years coordinating the magics of our universe, so when I decided to turn Guardians of the Seeds into a D&D campaign, instead of adjusting GOTS to fit D&D, I adjusted D&D to fit GOTS. It's nothing crazy, but you will come across some homebrew spells, abilities, stuff like that to match up with our homebrew classes. So I really hope that you like it. Justin here is going to be playing a homebrew class himself. Would you like to talk a little bit about the Thespian?
The Thespian class is basically if you took a bard and you took all the magic out of a bard and you just made them do music or dance or whatever type of magic tricks they're doing, and it's all real, no real magic is involved with it. Everything that they can do is, how do you say it?
It's very entertainment based.
Yeah, it's them putting on a performance or a show in order to either like distract their foes or help their allies do whatever they're trying to do. The class itself is kind of a mix between a support and a frontline class. They do like to be kind of up close in combat, but at the same time, while they are a front line role in combat, they are also a support role.
I will add that is true, absolutely, of the subclass of Thespian that Justin is playing. We do have a magician subclass that does have some magical ability, kind of like a half-caster. So it's there. It's not the purpose of the class, though, so it's more just...
Yeah, the base class is a non-magical
Yes.
Bard. Subclasses, though, might have a little bit of magic thrown in.
That being said, I think that we are all set to get started, so I'm ready to get this show on the road.
Arfinium. A once great world filled with cities and villages of the magically inclined. Now lies in ruins. Mass disappearances led to hysteria among the few survivors. With little to go on, gossip and rumor of a planetary curse spread rapidly. Tragedy, once again, reigniting the search for answers. The last clue at solving this centuries-old mystery? Bolt Royal Castle. Follow me, back to a time of ease and tranquility. When Bolt Royal Castle stood as a beacon of hope for the citizens of Arfinium. This is their story.
So, today we will begin our journey with your character already in the city of Quagmires Rest. You came here with intentions to get some things done. Your business is your own. You keep everything kind of close. And you find yourself inside of a shop looking for some food. As hungry as you always are. In the shop you see standard things. Bread, some packaged things, some potentially some like canned type, maybe a couple of vegetables.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Grabbed an assortment of
there's an assortment of
many
food.
things.
It's kind of a general store, so the food selection is not significant. You can also find things like fire paper and random tiny little crystals of sorts, and a random, what would appear to be like a tourist rack, where you see things that talk about Quagmires Rest, which is odd because on your way in, you didn't feel like this was very much of a tourist destination.
Is it? Okay. So there's a bunch of tourist stuff of Quagmires Rest. Is it like tourist stuff that shows like... Describe it. Describe the tourist items, please.
So, you're looking at really old pamphlet style material.
Mm-hmm.
You see Quagmires Rest written on it. You see sketched images of like the Guardian Temple. There are details written out on it, but other than that, all of the little pamphlet things look mostly the same. And you see items with like carvings. So you have like these tiny little, almost like butterfly knives. You know, not like switchblade butterfly knives, but we're talking tiny.
Yep.
That have engravings on them. That's it.
Okay, he's lost interest. He's going to the counter with the food that he's acquired.
So, you come up to your first, well, maybe not your first, but to an individual at the desk who's prepared to sell you items.
Fantastic. I'm gonna just lay out my armfuls worth of food. Sir, you cannot jump that way. That is a wall. You will hurt yourself. Just to lay out all the items onto the desk in front of him.
Great. So the clerk is gonna see all of the food, and it's a lot of food. This isn't really stuff that you cook with. These are more snack situations.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay. He starts pulling things around, and he's like writing, doing math.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's 1 silver and 3 copper.
He's gonna pull out a little pouch from underneath like the side of his cloak. There's like a little pocket hole that you can reach into to grab it. And rummage through a little bit, kind of shuffle that around, jingle jangle, and pull out the correct amount of coin.
Great. He'll take the coin. Do you want a sack?
Yes, please. That would be... Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. Grabs all the food. Kind of bewildered. He's like, this is so much food. Like
It's all like gas station quality food too.
It's gas station quality food.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, like you look like you were a kid let off in a candy store.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
It's not. We're not talking like meats and things. The canned vegetables were like the equivalent of like those travel pickles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
good.
So, in boop, and gets everything loaded up, and he hands you your little sack, kind of twists it up and hands it over.
How big is this sack? I'm assuming that Alastor had a literal arm's full worth of.
For sure. Size of the sack would just be dependent on the
Is it like a backpack
size
size?
of the food. We'll go with weight. I think that you're probably
Okay.
looking at the size of the cat that's in your lap.
I don't know how much your cat weighs.
He's about 10 pounds.
Whoa.
15 pounds?
Yeah, he's a chunky boy.
Oh my gosh. This is also Milo's first introduction, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you're the first person that he's jumped up to.
He always wants to sit on my lap.
I know.
He never stops.
It's been Nico for everyone else.
It's relentless. Oh.
He clearly has a favorite.
It's because he knows that I have another orange cat. Who is like 18 pounds. It's a lot. It's not
I actually
good.
don't know how much he weighs. All right.
I'm gonna weigh you later, buddy.
So you have your food. You have your vagabond sack
Yep, a vagabond sack
of bread and snacks.
of gas station food.
Of
yes.
gas station food. What are you gonna do?
Excuse me, sir. Could you, by chance, point me to the fastest route to the Guardian Temple, please?
Oh yeah. We're here on the main road. So you'll just continue when you go out. Just take a left.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And
Yeah.
then he's gonna have a nice day, and then he's gonna turn around and skedaddle.
Okay. As you. Okay. I hope this isn't important. The Guardians thing is kind of blowing up. So, as you exit, you've been through here a little bit. You didn't spend a significant amount of time. You were kind of one track in get me some food.
Yep.
And before you got to this particular area, everything was a little bit deserted. You don't really see any people around or anything, just falling apart buildings. So, now that you've acquired your food and you're walking out, you do see individuals, hanging around, doing their thing. Some people look like they could be on their way to a job. Others are meandering, having conversations with one another. People don't look joyous,
Okay.
I would say you also don't get a particular aura of like sadness either. It's just most people are indifferent in how the day is going, and they're going through motions. They're doing what they gotta do.
Everyday life.
Everyday life.
Boring. Routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as you make your way through, you'll note that the shops themselves are paint peeling. Some of the signs are incomplete. The coloring is faded that does still exist. So, not a high quality area that you're in.
Okay. Yep. Just gonna keep wandering around.
Keep wandering around.
Most likely going to get lost. He told me to turn left. Turned left at some point.
Again?
He didn't give me any other directions. I just turned left at some point, and I am now free roaming.
Free roaming. Quagmires Rest.
Quagmires Rest. Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry, I'm trying to picture Quagmires Rest in my head.
No, you're good. No worries.
So, if you're heading left, you're getting into more of a residential area.
Okay.
The people that you're seeing are kids kind of playing around in the streets. There's not a ton of greenery. You're not like by a park or anything. So bouncing balls and playing jacks, just random kid things that are going on. And as you just walk deeper and deeper in the wrong direction.
Fantastic.
What's happening for you?
What's happening? He's just completely in his own mind, he knows that he's going the right way.
Okay. Confident.
He told me to turn left. I turned left.
Great.
Might have turned left again.
Okay.
Might have taken a right.
Okay. All right.
But I'm going the right way.
Okay. All right. So, it's good to know. Audience note: Alastor, not a great sense of direction. So,
He didn't give good directions. All he said was turn left.
he did. He told you to go left. One time.
Yeah.
I hear you though. I hear you. I could see how that could turn into multiple lefts and a right.
Yeah.
As you are walking past, everyone, give me a perception roll.
It's a 5.
Okay. There's a couple of people walking past you, and you just, out of your ear, hear, "Oh yeah, that's where I'm headed too." And then as they go off in the opposite direction of you, the conversation fades.
I kind of turn around and look at them, and then as I turn back around, was I supposed to take another left? Wait a minute, hold on. Was this the street that he was talking about? Completely lost his sense of direction in the loss of direction that he was already in.
Okay.
Yeah. Alastor now thinks that he is lost.
Okay. We'll say you're at a crossroads. Not like we're not looking for demons, but a legitimate. You're at a crossing, and you have some options.
Awesome.
You can turn around. You can go straight. You can take another left. You can roll the dice for a right. You can just roll the dice for the direction. I mean, there are 4 directions.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
what
a
I'm
D4.
doing. I'm doing a D4.
Okay.
We're starting left for 1 and then going around clockwise.
Okay.
Going to the right.
Going to the right.
Yep.
All right. As you head deeper into the residential areas of Quagmires Rest, you begin to see fewer and fewer people. You're ending up in a more deserted section of Quagmires Rest. The further from the center of the city you get, the fewer people are around. And at this point, you're essentially, and we came from, you're essentially going south at this point.
Okay.
So
I got the Dungeon Master lost in his own city.
I'm like, where am I at? No, yeah. So you're going south at this point, to the southernmost border of the city, and your destination, because it is in the center of the city, I can most assuredly say that you're headed in the wrong direction.
Fantastic.
But as you make your way to those southern borders, you do find yourself completely alone.
Yeah, this is fine. He's just like, oh, yeah, okay. All these people must be at work or out at like a tavern or, I don't know, having fun somewhere, right? Why aren't these people home?
What was your roll for?
To see how eerie of a feeling it was, and that was about as middle of a roll as possible.
So, all right.
I'm gonna go and knock on a door.
Okay.
Just walk up to a random house,
Okay.
knock on the door.
All right. A second. All right. You go and you knock on the door, and the door falls.
Just off the hinges?
It just falls. The hinges were gone. It was just the holding up. Rust was keeping this door in place.
Okay.
And you and then you just, and then dust just kind of scatters.
Sorry,
Shit.
Looks around, make sure that nobody notices. He's gonna pick up the door and kind of put it back in place.
Okay. All right. Roll for repairs?
I'm not trying to repair it. I'm just trying to leave it like standing up.
Stealth, maybe?
It's an 18
Yeah,
to leave it standing up.
All right. You get it up. You get the door to prop back up in its original position. Are you still trying to get in this house? Or you?
No, he just did not mean to break down this person's door, and he felt bad that he intruded and broke some of their property, but nobody responded, so they're not home, so he's just gonna kind of
Head out?
he's gonna leave it there. That's not his problem, not his fault. He's gonna turn around, let's go.
All right, cool. So when you turn around, I'm sorry. I literally put you in the middle of nowhere. According to your choices, there's not a lot for you to do. What do we have Alastor looking for?
He is looking for the Temple of the Enclave.
Is he actively looking for?
Well, he was looking for the way to get there, but got a little bit turned around. Not the best sense of direction. He's never been here before.
All right, do an intelligence roll for me.
Oh dear lord.
I know.
Oh dear lord. That's an 18.
Wow.
I know. Wow, such a smart boy.
All right. In the area that you're in, take a look around. You know, because you can take your time. There's no one around. There's no one to check you out. And you think to yourself, temples are supposed to be big.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing big over here.
Okay.
You can almost see over the houses. They're not tall houses.
Okay.
They're more like shacks than anything.
Yep.
So what you are trying to find is not here.
Okay. He's gonna go back the way that he thinks that he came.
Okay. Yeah.
He's going east.
Okay.
Not the way that he came.
No, not the way that he came. Though that is the way to the entrance. So,
I mean, if I followed like the
yeah. So you'll make your way for roll a d4 for time.
3.
3?
Yeah.
All right. For like 30 minutes, you're walking around. You find yourself mostly still in this deserted area.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot going on. But the exterior walls of Quagmires Rest, you do see what appears to be more like the entrance of where you came from, like when you entered the city.
Okay. Once he gets back to the entrance, he's going to retrace his steps from when he first came into the city, so that he can get back to that shop.
Okay, it was a straight line.
It was a straight line?
It was a straight line.
Okay, perfect. So once he gets back to the entrance, once he gets back to that road, straight line, going back to the shop.
Okay. All right, roll for perception for me.
12.
All right. You hear a kid excitedly talking to a parent, and they're saying things like, "Is it really? Is it today? Is it today?" And they're like tugging on shirts and trying to get their parents' attention, and you have just tapping the side of the child's shoulder, like, yes, it's today. It's just calm down. We'll get there. We have plenty of time.
Yeah, he's gonna kind of eavesdrop on the rest of that conversation. Follow behind as they're walking, but not like He's following them. He's just walking in the same direction.
Okay. All right.
That piqued his interest.
Cool. They're walking down the main street towards the shop that you're heading to, not from. You have a very interesting origin story.
I'm from the shop.
From the gas station.
It's born in the gas station.
So, kid is going on, and just a mile a minute. You know, I can't wait. I'm so excited. It's been so long. I haven't seen one in forever. This kind of conversation is what's happening, and you're a decent way behind if you're trying to be sneaky. You know, you're not close enough to make anyone feel uncomfortable, but not so far that you can't hear what's going on.
Okay.
But it is like things pass by, so you'll catch like a word here, a word there. Roll stealth for me.
That's a 10.
A 10?
Yeah. I'm just walking.
You're just walking.
I'm just walking in that direction.
You're a bystander.
Yeah.
You're not invisible by any means.
Oh no. It's not trying to be like hiding behind crates trying to eavesdrop on a child's excitement. He's just like, what is this kid so excited about?
Right. So, Mom has the kid's hand, and you see her like lovingly, like she squeezes his hand a couple of times, and it's like, dragons, and you just hear dragons. So excited about dragons. It's like I can't believe that we get to see dragons.
Alastor just looks up into the sky, just hears dragons, and he's like, dragons.
Great.
Yeah.
So, Mom, I know. It'll be fine. They're probably small. They won't bother us. It'll be fine, and we'll have a good time looking at the dragons. And the kid's like, I know, and he's so excited. And the mom, these words might be for her.
Okay. Yeah. She's nervous.
Yeah.
Childlike wonder.
Yeah.
We're going to Jurassic Park. The mom's like, we're gonna die. I've seen the movies.
So, as you're following along, how long are you gonna continue to listen for interesting things, or
no? Once he hears dragons, he was more so interested in what the kid was kind of freaking out over, and once he kind of gets the gist of it, he's like, okay, there's dragons here, but he's looking for the temple. He's gonna get back on track. He's gonna stop following them, and then realize that he's lost again.
Give me another perception roll before you do that.
Okay. A 3.
That's what you do.
Yeah. He's lost again. Absolutely.
Lost, or were you heading straight to the shop? They wouldn't have passed the shop yet.
He would have forgotten in relation to where he was, where the shop is.
Okay.
Even though it's a straight line, he's like, did I pass it? It's on this road somewhere, and he's looking around and kind of like looking at all the signs and just being like, and gonna keep going, I guess.
Okay. All right. The crowds are getting heavier on the main street.
Okay.
So, if you've turned around, is that right?
No, I think he's still going straight because he was like, I don't know if I passed it, so I'm just gonna keep going.
Great. So, the crowds are increasing in size. What was once a deserted main street, you see people kind of filing in. Not a ton of people, but considering you went from 0 to like 10 or 15 people in your immediate view, it's a lot.
Okay.
In your immediate vicinity. You know, there's more in the distance this way, there's more in the distance that way, but like near you, there are lots of people around for you to encounter. So,
He's gonna kind of pull his hood down a little bit as he goes deeper into the crowd.
great. There's going to be there's been a couple of people who don't appear to be, they are running. Would Alastor be interested in what's happening there?
Yeah, which direction are they running?
Okay.
That's just gonna catch his eye. It
Yeah.
might be interested, but the speed catches his eye.
Okay. So, 2 people on the go, and you are watching them as they kind of dart in and out of the crowd. And as they're darting in and out of the crowd, you see come up from behind them another man, an older man. Angry in appearance, and you see kind of a "stop them" kind of situation.
Okay.
He's clearly chasing these 2 because they've done something. Who knows what.
Okay. Oh, I don't have a coin to flip. Okay, we're gonna do high or low for deciding on what he does
That's
here.
fine.
He's gonna not chase after them, but go over to the old man and be like, "What's going on? What's wrong?
Okay.
Are you okay, sir? Like what?"
The man is. They stole from my fruit cart. And he's like, kind of crouched over a little bit.
I'll be back in a moment. Just kind of sighs, tugs on his hood a little bit as he turns around. He's gonna start running through the crowd after them. Keep that handy. Yeah,
Great.
he's gonna chase after them.
All right. Let's do a D6 for me real quick. We're gonna do some distance.
4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. So you stopped.
Mhm.
They had continued running.
Yeah.
So they're not close. You can see them,
Yeah.
but it would take you a second to catch up to them. If we were doing turn-based, I would say like 2 to 3 turns. This isn't an encounter though, so it'll take you a while to catch up. And as you're approaching, getting closer, you're a bit quicker than they are. You see them dart onto a side street,
Mhm.
away from the crowds.
Mhm.
When you get into the side street, you see the 2 boys. Well, teens, I would say, not necessarily boys. There's now a 3rd person, a much younger boy, and they're sharing the fruit.
Got it. Are they standing up? Are they handing it to each other? Are they sitting down and eating it?
So one of the older boys would be sitting down with the youngest, and then the other one's kind of crouched, passing stuff.
Mhm.
Has a couple of things that he's pulled out of the bag, and
Mhm.
you see him rummaging in for something else.
Okay. Alastor is going to walk up to them. Not quickly enough to startle them, but quick enough where if they started to try to run, he would be able to pick up the pace to catch them, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right. The boy that's crouched, he's gonna kind of catch the movement out of the corner of his eye. So you be like, "What do you want?"
I'd like that fruit back, please.
"What fruit?"
The fruit that you took from the old man's shop.
"I didn't take anything from a shop."
A cart. His home. Whatever it was.
He just stares at you for a second. He looks down and he's already eaten half of it, but he tosses you a couple of uneaten apples.
Okay. I'm gonna take the apples and then I'm gonna go. Thank you for your honesty. And then he's gonna drop his sack on the ground and turn around and walk away.
Okay. So, you make your way back, I'm assuming, to the gentleman. Okay.
I'm gonna eat the apples on the way.
Okay.
Very hungry. I got lost, did not eat any of the food that I bought. Maybe like snacked on like one thing, but like I'm gonna eat the apples on the way. And then as I get back to the old man, I'm gonna be like, kind of show him the eaten apples. And I'm gonna go, I caught up to them, but they already ate most of it. So how much are they worth?
And he's caught his breath a little bit. He's like, I mean, I don't know exactly what they stole. Maybe a silver piece.
All right. And then he's gonna hand him a silver piece and be like, kids, you know, it can be hard sometimes.
Okay. So he'll take the silver, like looks at it a little bit, fiddles with it through his fingers, and is like, kids. And then he turns around and he heads back to his cart.
Okay. Oh, okay. Surprisingly, not lost. Surprisingly, knows where he is.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're following the crowds.
Yeah, following the crowd.
Great. The crowds are getting closer and closer to, their destination. You can tell because people are kind of slowing down and the density is getting more dense. So, being that you're close to so many individuals, do me another perception roll and roll with advantage.
It's a 19.
Okay. You hear a couple of people talking about the Guardian Temple. And if this is where the dragons are going to be staying, how are people going to get into the caverns to get more crystals? And should we be scared of the dragons? Are they guarding the temple? Can people still go in? Are we just going to be able to watch from the outskirts? Are we going to be able to pet the dragons? They're very intrigued about what's going on here. But it's becoming apparent that this approaching event is not a secret. People are aware
That there will be dragons here.
of what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Heck, they're talking about dragons. That's cool. They're talking about the Guardian Temple. That's where I'm trying to go. I'm just gonna keep following the crowd.
Cool.
They have to know where they're going, right? Presumably,
They could.
maybe. They got a better idea than I do.
Okay. So with your perception roll, you will have heard what's going on over there.
Yep.
You also will be more aware of what's happening on these little side alleyways.
Okay.
Right? And you see these people who are on their way to be spectators, essentially. And none of them look like fancy, but it's a day out. People are dressed for the weather. They're just trying to see some dragons. Some people have like little picnic baskets of food. Some people just have their kids with them. You see a couple people riding on shoulders, and that's what's in the crowd. In the city that you're walking through, you do see more of these random people who are huddled in the corners on the sides of buildings, not looking great and by any means. Not interested in the spectating of what is to come. They're not joining the crowds. Looks sad.
Okay. They're just kind of meandering around, I guess.
Some of the people in the alleyways are huddled.
Okay.
In like a sitting position.
Yeah.
A couple of people might be wrapped in blankets.
Okay. Got it. He's gonna take note of that, and he's gonna continue to follow the crowd and listening to people as they talk. But he's also gonna kind of go to like one side of the street rather than the center of the crowd, so that he can get like a closer look at like the other people that he's noticing in the side alleys.
Okay. All right. Give me an investigation roll.
It's an 8.
Okay.
Don't even know why I looked at my sheet for a modifier.
So, you hear a couple of like, like not healthy individuals as you are taking a closer look. You're still walking to your initial destination, but what you're coming across is like sickly people that aren't well, people who, now that you're closer up, do appear to be without homes.
Okay. And this has been on like a decent portion of like the side streets? Like
I would say you've probably passed anywhere, let's do it, we'll roll for it. At this point, you've passed 3 different streets that have these individuals just huddled out.
Okay.
Seeking warmth.
Yep.
Resting.
Yep. And like on average, or roughly how many individuals do you think that he's seen that are homeless or unwell or kind of back alley type people?
And the 3 streets that you've passed, you've come across 11.
11 on 3 streets. That's a lot. That's a decent amount.
Yeah, they would have been.
Especially because there's 15 people in the crowd.
Oh no, your crowd is
I
much
know,
denser now.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. He's definitely taking note of that. He does not. That does not make him feel good about this place. Makes him feel like, you know, the world could be better. You know, like this type of stuff doesn't have to happen.
Okay.
I would like to strike up a conversation with a random individual next to me about dragons.
Okay. I was thinking, there's a thing.
There's a thing?
There's a thing.
Okay.
For me, there's a thing, but we'll do this thing first. Any individual?
Yeah, literally whoever like I'm walking next to. Just
Okay. What are you saying?
So I've just arrived in town. When are the dragons supposed to arrive?
No one's really sure, actually. This is the second day that I've been here.
Oh.
We just know that it's soon.
Okay. Like Soon? Like within like a week or like?
I
Presumably, obviously.
presumably.
Okay.
I think that people started gathering a few days ago.
From like outside of town?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
just happened to be here and hear the hustle and bustle about dragons arriving, so I was interested in following the crowd. I thought they might have already been here.
No, I mean, not yet. As far as I'm aware, the migration is set to happen at sundown.
Okay.
So it's close.
Yeah.
If it's today,
Looks up at the sky to see where the sun is.
you would guess that you've got a couple hours until sundown.
Okay, so it's getting towards like evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
sorry,
Oh, you're fine.
I get distracted occasionally. So into your conversation. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No,
No.
that's it.
Okay. So give me another perception roll.
14.
You smell smoke. Fire smoke.
Like a lot of fire smoke or like a...
Like you don't see a fire in front of you and you can smell a decent amount of smoke from a fire.
Okay, that's either a really, really big cookout or a problem. He's gonna kind of look around sniff for where the smell is coming from.
Okay.
Tries to look at the crowd to see if like their reactions and stuff as well.
You don't see any significant reactions, but when you're looking around, you do see some smoke rising up from some of the buildings behind you.
Like chimney smoke or like just smoke? Like
From where you're at right now, I mean, someone could have a large fire, it could be chimney smoke, there could be something on fire that's not supposed to. It's not really clear. There's just smoke coming from behind the buildings on the main road.
Okay. Kind of look around, get his bearings, and then he's gonna dip into one of the alleys to go in that direction.
Okay. You'll pass a couple of
Trying not to get lost.
individuals. And as you make your way through the alley, you'll get to another road, not as prominent, thinner, and you'll see that there is, in fact, a building on fire.
Does anybody seem to be doing anything about it?
At this point in time, it is a small fire. It's not crazy, it's not overpowering, there's no like crazy falling down structures or anything.
Yeah.
But there is for sure a fire inside of what you presume to be a house.
And presumably a fire that should not be doing what that fire is doing.
It looks bigger than any fire should be on the interior of a home.
Oh god. Okay, and is there anybody around at all that's like looking at this or?
There's no one outside the fire. Outside of the house that's on fire.
Oh god. Okay. 2-story building, 1-story building?
1 story.
1 story. Okay, that makes it easier. He's gonna... Is the door open? Windows open?
A lot of the structures here don't have windows. I mean, it's kind of hit or miss. Some do, some don't.
Do they not have like window like...
Openings.
Yeah, where
Yeah,
they have like
yeah.
the shutters and...
There's
Still a window. I'm not talking glass, I'm talking...
So you do see openings, and then there is a physical door as well, which doesn't appear to be open.
Okay. But the openings are open.
The window openings are open.
Okay. He's gonna...
That's where the fire is coming out of.
Oh, it's coming out of one of them.
The smoke, sorry, not the fire. Sorry, I was a little not specific in that situation.
No, you're fine. I was like, okay, fire's coming out. That means I can't go through that window. All right. He's gonna.
Let me set a scene for you.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
I need to get better at that. So what you're looking at is it's a street, thin street, like I said before, and there's a few houses that line the backside. So you are on the backs of the shops, and then all of these little units, not connected necessarily. Some of them are kind of like a duplex situation, and then others are complete standalone. The one that you've come across, there's a side street that kind of goes off, small like an alleyway, but it's separating the houses and going off the other direction. So you see this house right here, and the entrance is going to be on this road. Mm-hmm. You are roughly here.
Okay.
And this house right here, you've got 2 windows and a door.
Okay.
The windows are both open, and the fire is coming from the window on the left.
Okay. So the smoke is coming.
Smoke is coming from the window on the left. Yes, thanks.
Yeah. He's gonna look around. Nobody's doing anything. He hasn't seen anybody that's noticed. So he's gonna kind of not run because he doesn't want to be out of breath, but he's gonna trot over, mm-hmm. and he's gonna poke his head in the window in the right to see what's going on.
All right. On the window on the right, you do see someone sleeping.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. He's just gonna climb in.
Great.
Through the window, because he's already there. No need for doors. He's gonna climb in through the window, and he's gonna try to wake the person up. He's gonna. Not how I woke somebody up in the playtest. We're gonna wake him up. Normally, I'm gonna shake this guy.
All right. Shaking him.
Yeah.
So the person that you're shaking is a woman.
Okay.
And startled awake relatively quickly because there was no one in the house with her.
Yeah.
So this is nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Gets up and she's like, Who are you?
Sorry, broke into your house? Your house is on fire.
What?
Yeah, the other room, there's a bunch of smoke coming out of there. Did you do you need to get out, or well, presumably you need to get out.
Can we put it out?
I don't know, I haven't looked at it yet.
She's rushing around, she's trying to, see what's going on. And she walks in, it is the house is divided kind of in 2. You've got the area that she was, which is kind of like a bedroom, mm-hmm. and then everything else is just one
open floor plan.
You've got some counter space with like a basin for water. You've got some seats in the area, and it looks like the fire is in like the seated area, mm-hmm. and it's just the blaze is catching relatively quickly. It's old house, the wood is dry, the material that the furniture is made out of is either dry or rotted, so it's not going well.
Highly flammable.
Yeah.
Cool.
So things are blowing up real fast. And in a panic, she's just and she starts like grabbing for things, things that she is trying to keep safe. You see her grab a blanket and some random other nonsense, and she's like,
I'm just gonna open up my hands to grab what she has.
Okay.
Like offering to take it for her.
She just throws it in your arms.
Okay.
Like just straight, just like, and then she goes to the water basin, and mm-hmm. she just takes and she just flings water over, and it's not enough. The fire is still getting larger, and in a panic, she just doesn't know what else to do. So she's shoving stuff like pillows on top of things, and it's catching.
Get the rest of your stuff that you want. We gotta get out of here. And, he's gonna toss that out the window and then come back in to help her get a couple more things if she wants.
Okay. You guys get what you get.
Yeah,
right?
whatever she needs.
And you get out, and she is crumpled with her pile of stuff, mm-hmm. and in just desperation is crying, sobbing. This is their house.
Not anymore. Shoot. He's gonna kind of bend over and be like, come on, we gotta move away from it. And then he's gonna kind of like drag some stuff and try to like get her like across the street away from the fire, because I'm assuming that she just collapsed on the ground like right outside, which is just also not safe.
Yeah. All right, so as you pull her to safety, and she's like, "That's it. That's my stuff. That's all. I don't have anything." She's like, "That's it. This is," and she's holding on to a blanket in particular, and just sad, sobbing. It's a bad time.
Yeah, it's a bad time. Alastor is gonna not comfort her with words, but kind of like put a gentle arm around her to like reassure her that it's gonna be okay.
Okay.
How old is this woman?
Mid-30s.
Okay.
30s. She says some coherent things about not knowing what she's gonna do. You know, she doesn't have any money or anything, and she's just sad. And you're the only one around to hear her, so.
Yeah, he's just gonna listen to that and just kind of like be an ear to bend for a moment. Is there really nowhere else that you can go?
I don't have anyone. I don't have. I'm out of work. I just. I guess I'll figure it out.
Can I make a stealth check to do something?
Yeah.
He's dropping like a gold piece into some of her stuff. That is the worst stealth check that I've ever seen. It's a 9 total.
It's not bad.
It's not good.
It's not great. But also, is she paying attention to you at all?
You're right.
I mean,
you're
think
right.
about these
Her house is
circumstances.
burning down.
Her house is burning
Yeah,
down.
that's right.
She's not paying attention to what's going on with you.
Yeah.
I'd say if you'd rolled lower than a 5, she probably would have noticed. But a 9 is not a terrible roll given the circumstances that we're in.
Perfect. Alastor is a little frazzled by what's going on, and has hence the bad stealth. He's a little like jittery because he just was helping this woman gather her things to get out of a house fire. So he's kind of like shaking a little bit and kind of like slips that in there. Not stealthily at all, but she's
not aware.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Do you want to say or do anything else?
I mean, there's a lot of what seem to be abandoned houses. I mean, I don't think that anybody would care if you took up residence in any of those. At least so you have like some kind of a roof over your head.
And then she just kind of. Most of the houses here are falling apart. They would crumble just as soon as you open the door.
Was she watching him when it happened?
No.
That's literally the thing that goes through his mind. She's on to me. She saw me knock down that door. Yeah, they do seem to be not in the best conditions.
My parents left me this house. They're gone. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I have to.
Have you ever thought of like leaving?
To go
here?
Where? What would I do? Where would I go?
I don't know, but it can't be this bad everywhere, right? There's got to be somewhere that is a little bit better.
She'll contemplate a little bit in silence. I've never really left Quagmires Rest.
I mean, the world is vast and beautiful outside of it. I mean, it's pretty good here too, but, you know, I've been to a lot of different places and seen a lot of things, and there's a lot of decent spots that somebody could make a home at.
15 years ago, it was great here. You know, there was people around, tourists came by. You know, people was able to make a living. And just so much has changed.
What happened?
I was young when it happened. I didn't really. I wasn't responsible for money or anything. I was living it here with my parents, and I don't.
Sorry to cut you off. What season is it?
Presently,
Yeah.
it's the start of the year, which is.
I kind of just want to know how warm the weather is outside.
I know.
And I've made him leave the table, everybody. The book. The tome of knowledge.
Information. You guys be asking for stuff. And I'm like, I wrote this down somewhere. It's a thing. Okay, so. Spring. You're in the spring.
Okay. So like a bit chilly, but not winter cold,
So
presumably?
no, it's not winter cold.
Okay.
So you are entering spring from winter.
Okay.
So it is there's not a heavy chill in the air. If I were to assign a temperature, I would say you're probably in the 60s.
Oh, that's fine.
It's just,
Okay.
you know, sometimes there's like a cold wind, but otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. Continuing with what she was saying about what happened to the place. She was young. She wasn't responsible for money at the time, so she doesn't really know what happened.
Great. All right, if you stuck with us through the technical issues that we just encountered, I appreciate your loyalty. I had to get the camera refocused after we lost connection. I'm not sure why the connection went down. Luckily, with OBS, it does a reconnection test until we come back online, which is a fantastic feature. But after we came back online, the camera was not doing it for me. It's probably because I left the table, which is probably my bad. But here we are. Just so that I make sure everyone caught everything. I went, grabbed the journal here. I was looking for the season that it was according to the month that we're in on our Finium. And we are in the spring. I said that we were in like the 60-ish range. There could be like a draft that would cause you to feel a chill in the air, but otherwise very early spring. First couple of days of spring is what we are experiencing right now.
Okay.
So you're
This lady was currently before I interrupted for the to know what the weather was like, she was telling us about how Quagmires Rest came to be in the state that it is.
So she was explaining that when she was young, she didn't have to deal with these kinds of hardships. This is not something that she was focused on, because as a child, she didn't have any responsibilities, and she wasn't responsible for keeping track of the kinds of things like where their money came from. So she's not entirely sure. She remembers that this is not the first time the dragons have been here.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
she will have indicated that tourism in Quagmires Rest went up when the dragon migration to Arfinium initially happened. And after they left, that, like, the hustle and bustle of excitement, you know, people who wanted to be around and see these creatures, it died down. And then fewer and fewer people came until eventually no one came. And the economy of Quagmires Rest essentially was wiped out.
Mm.
The only people spending money were the people who were trying to make money, and they were just trading copper for copper. Until eventually we ended up where we are now.
Got it. All right. So she mentioned that the first migration of dragons here made the economy kind of blossom and bloom, and then after they left, it went downhill. So Alastor is going to be like, well, maybe with the new dragon migration back to here, maybe things will pick up again. Maybe things will get better.
I mean, if they come back.
I mean, everyone's saying that they are.
They've been saying that for weeks.
Oh. Immediately lost all hope of seeing a dragon. Just any excitement that he might have had over that is now just gone. He's just like, oh, okay, they were lying.
So, it is what it is. You know, like I said, I'll figure it out. Or she starts to wrap her things up, and as she picks some things, she feels something in the blanket.
I'm turning around and I'm leaving.
As she's
I'm dipping around the corner.
As she's investigating that, you're heading out. So
Yeah, back to the main street. What do you want me to roll to make sure that I get back to the main street?
that's a good question. Roll for history.
A 2.
Okay. Wow. Wrong direction.
Wrong direction?
Yeah.
Awesome.
In fact, you went left.
Oh, good. He did tell me to go left.
So on point. The road that you're on, it does seem to stretch along the main road, like parallel.
Okay.
And the main road is shops, you know?
Yeah.
There's a tavern at some point. There's places for you to pick things up. A general store. The gas station. And on this parallel road that you're traveling down right now, you just see housing. Shacks, rather. But housing. And in the direction that you're going, the housing gets worse and worse.
Okay.
As you're walking along.
Yep.
And you pass more and more of these people that are just sitting in alleys.
He's kind of looking around, taking it all in. And his demeanor changes a bit in the sense of before he's been kind of underneath the hood, a little happy-go-lucky, a little bit like excited to get to the temple, excited to be in a new place, excited to see dragons, and been a little bit optimistic about everything. But as he keeps seeing the desperation and squalor of the people around him, he starts getting a little more upset about the situation. Like, you know, it's one of those things where he's like, why does the world have to be like this sometimes? You know, can't everything just be perfect? Can't everybody just be happy? And he's gonna walk through that a little bit, and then if he notices that he's walking parallel to the main street, he's gonna eventually cut back into the main street.
Okay. Let's do another perception roll.
Oh, yeah. That's a 7.
Okay. You don't know where it's coming from.
Another house fire, oh god.
But you can hear the sounds of a baby crying.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's probably just a random person and their child and just an unhappy baby, but you just hear a crying baby. And then you cut through on your way to the main street.
Mm-hmm. Do I get back to the main street?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to Main Street. You see where the crowd are traveling,
Okay.
not in the direction you were going.
Ah, shit.
I'm gonna turn around and start traveling, following the crowd again.
Great. Okay.
I've full Scooby-Doo'd my way around this city.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. I've seen you. You went this way, and then back to the main street. You were still going this way. Somehow, I don't know how, but I guess you made a complete circle.
Yep. Fantastic.
So as you make your way through the main area, I mean, you could just get to the Guardian Temple.
Yeah. He would just follow the crowd until he gets to where he needs to go at that point.
Okay.
No more sidetrack. He's gonna focus on the road.
Okay. All right. So you make it to the Enclave.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's crowds of people who are hanging around.
What does the Enclave look like?
The Enclave, there's a main gate
Mhm.
that you will have entered that was connected to the main road into the city that you've been following. The walls are pretty high, a good 10, 12 feet if you were just to eyeball it. And inside the Enclave, you see about 12 structures that are a good distance from the outer wall of the Enclave.
Mm-hmm.
And on the interior of these structures, they circle the Guardian Temple.
Okay.
The Guardian Temple is square in shape. The base is square in shape. And it has layers. And each layer of we'll call it a floor
Mm-hmm.
of the temple, is smaller than the last. So we're in kind of a stacking pyramid. Okay, guys. We went down again. We'll figure it out. So, I'm gonna sneeze, and it's gonna take a minute, but I'm gonna feel it the whole time. So upset. Okay, so you make your way into the enclave.
Yes.
I think, based off where my hands froze, the structure of the temple is stacked. Floor, large base, smaller middle,
Yep.
and then smaller
stepped
top.
pyramid was the
Stepped pyramid.
last thing that happened.
And now that you've begun to take this in, what's going on for you? Oh, also, the outskirts of the walls, there's people. No one's on the inside really. There's a few scattered about, but mostly people are on the outside.
They're waiting outside the temple grounds.
So if this were the wall, this would be outside the grounds,
Yes.
but everyone's on this wall. Inside, but they're just kind of lined up around looking
Towards
at what's
the
going
temple.
on. Yeah,
Okay.
towards the temple.
It's gonna kind of, as he walks in through the gate with whatever crowd he's following, he's gonna kind of look around to get his bearings, see the other structures that surround the temple, see the stacked pyramid in the center. That presumably is the building of importance, the temple itself. And he's gonna kind of do a circle and turn around and look out at the rest of the city behind him, because I'm assuming this is up on a hill or something.
The temple itself is very slightly elevated.
Okay.
I would say a small incline, but I wouldn't call it a hill per se. You will see that there's an opening at the base of the temple.
No, I meant the whole, not just the temple building itself, but the whole enclave, the walls is, because I'm assuming that center of the city, this is kind of up a little bit. That was my presumption.
No, we're in a swamp.
Oh yeah, totally forgot that the outside of this place is a swamp. Okay.
Yep.
All right. In that case, screw it. He's just gonna walk up to the temple.
Great.
He wants to get a good view of the place. He's just gonna walk up the stairs and go to the top.
Great. No one stops you.
Okay.
Yeah, you just head up.
Yeah.
And people are definitely, if you could hear people from where you're at, which they're freaking far, so you just hear a hum of voices. You would hear a lot of people what is he doing? What's going on? I don't
Just gonna walk
He's
up.
going up the temple. Does he know there are traps?
Does he know there are traps? No, absolutely does not. He's gonna walk up the temple steps. He's not gonna go in, but he's gonna kind of poke around, look at some of the.
Yeah.
Look at
I hear you.
the building itself, and then he's gonna turn around and look out at his surroundings, at the city behind him.
Okay. So when you turn around and you see the city, it's significantly depressing in appearance. The streets that you've been down, things have not looked in great condition. You've seen a good thing here or there.
Yeah.
But all in all, mostly what you've encountered has been structures that just aren't doing very well. Where you're at now, getting a look of the city as a whole, you're looking at nothing looks good. It all looks like everyone's having almost as hard a time as the woman who you just helped from a house fire. They're not doing much better than her, other than some of them still have roofs over their heads.
Okay. So he's looking out at the city, looking out at all of the abandoned and dilapidated buildings, and seeing how really even the best of the buildings don't even look that good. And eyes just wide, staring out at the surroundings around him, at this city in the middle of a swamp, at this place that is supposed to have a grand holy site at a place that's supposed to be important, supposed to be taken care of, where people should be doing their thing, living their lives, having a good time. You know, this is an important place, a place that should be doing better than this. And he just kind of looks out and takes it all in, and just something in him snaps in that moment.
What's going through your head?
He a lot of emotions. He's beneath the cloak, tensed up, visibly upset. Not that anybody is close enough to him to really see this. He's just mad that this type of stuff just keeps happening in places.
Yeah.
You know, the world itself, the capital of Arphanium is supposed to be this paradise, but then there's so many other places where there's so much poverty and squalor and places that are abandoned. But everything else is supposedly perfect.
Yeah.
And he's just like, something has to change. That's like the only thing that's going through his mind in this moment is something needs to change. And then he's gonna head into the temple, I guess.
Okay. From the top?
Well, no, not from the top. He's gonna. What? I don't really know what the temple looks like, so.
So you have the stepped features.
Yep.
When you were approaching, you will have seen the like cave opening, I guess, at the base of the temple.
Okay.
It was it would have been there on your, you know, to the side of where the steps are, and you also give me a history roll again.
Dear Lord. It's a 17.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, you remember that you've been told about the crystal caverns and whatnot, so you would know that there is a place of importance under the
Presumably that would be within the cave, so that would be where he would go.
Great. All right. Then you will enter into the caverns below the Guardian Temple, and that's what we're going to cut.
Cut the cameras. Cut the mics.
So,
Cut.
apologies, guys, for the technical difficulties that we experienced during the live. I will get these individual videos clipped together for when they go on YouTube and see what's going on, man. Because last week we didn't have any problems, so what's up?
It's me. I'm the problem.
I don't think it's you. When we loaded today, there was a little red dot thing on the icon for OBS, and I've not ever seen it before. So
it's me. I'm
there's
the red dot.
something happening.
OBS does not like me.
I'm wondering if there was supposed to be an update that we didn't process before we started or whatnot. I didn't do any checks last night before. We just did our sound check this morning, so there's no telling. But overall, I had a good time. I'm glad that we got to meet Alastor and experience his fun personality.
His serious side. You've not seen the fun yet. This is a serious Alastor episode. I can guarantee it will almost never happen again.
It's like, so where am I going? No.
Oh yeah, no, even that was serious. That wasn't even fun. That was just, he was like, where the hell am I?
Yeah, actually, you know, given our test plays, you're right. That's actually much more serious than I'm used to. Anyway, I don't think we have any additional announcements. Oh, that's not true. We do. Next week, Saturday, March 2nd, 10 a.m. is our group episode where all of the intros that you have experienced thus far, where we introduce Alastor, Luciar, Evia, Ray, Rune, Quentin, and Blue, all of those episodes have led up to the moment that we are going to experience this coming Saturday, March 2nd, once again, 10 a.m., for
The first group episode.
the first group episode. Yeah. For everyone to come together for the very first time. Mostly, we're going to have a bunch of strangers getting together. I hope that you guys got some appreciation out of the goal that we went for with the intro episodes, which was we have given a reason for people to be where they are, for the most part. I think some things were a little bit vague in this episode in particular. I think that Alastor's reasoning for why he was here was a little bit obscured, but I also see the reasoning for you being here coming out later and it making sense.
Yeah.
So, like with all of the character episodes, that was the goal. It was to give them a reason for why they were in the location that they were at. So, as we move forward, I hope to hear more from people about how they felt about the introduction episodes. Obviously, we've got years to go before this campaign is complete, given that our first real episode is going to be next week. So, if this is something that everyone appreciates and enjoys, this will probably be something that we do next time as well. But we'll see, because I've not ever seen anyone do this with a campaign where characters get their own episodes before the main arc begins.
Yeah, usually it's like if anything, it's like every character gets like half an hour. And they're all at the table together.
Yeah, and it all just, yeah. So I've seen that too. So we'll see. We'll test the waters. We've done it at this point. We can't take it back. So we'll just see how everybody feels about it. So,
now I can finally get to go home. I'm finally free to go. I don't have to live in the spare room anymore. I'll be able to see my cats again. Oh my god, I've missed them. It's been months.
He's exaggerating so much. He just got here last night. So, we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.